Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, now y'all good?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome. Oh, sorry. Okay, good.
Just press the button.
Okay. It can't be right.
Just let it hang free.
Just let it hang.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we good. Thank you. All right, y'all. Welcome. Hello. So, given you are here, I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page about being against the federalization of DC. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page about being against Howard capitulating to ICE. Am I correct? We're all against letting MPD on campus or calling MPD on the students themselves. We're all against Howard refusing to let their students freely express their disappointment with the institution, yada yada. So I don't think I need to draw those lines today. I don't think I need to draw the lines of how this is all connected to Howard's military contracts that see Howard research being used to develop tech to kill Palestinians, and Howard's general connections to the white supremacist institution and all that by forming the next generation of black capitalists. We all go here, we all know this, so I don't think I have to talk to you about that today. Instead, I'm going to talk to you about my Howard experience and what I think about Howard culture. Trust me, it's relevant. Between my freshman and sophomore years, I've been harassed by Howard police 6 times and MPD once. That's 7 times in 2 years. One of which was the very first day I spent as a freshman on campus. Another one of these times, I was held against the wall by my neck in my own dorm building. Multiple times these police have put their hands on me, and you know what I did about it? Absolutely nothing. Because what would happen if I did say something? The revolutionary communities that address everything on campus get active. Howard slanders the movement, maybe says it was started by outsiders, whatever that means. But no one sees justice and no one is held accountable. Campus culture was not one where the student body at large would support me. So I regularly still see students today with Starbucks.
Right.
Campus culture here is one that lets the administration get away with whatever as long as our perfect little elitist experience isn't ruined. So I say, what happens when ICE comes and grabs a student? Or when any of these over a dozen policing institutions randomly arrest someone? Or when the next student is targeted for speaking out? Will the campus culture be one of complete outrage in support for the folks targeted? Or will we continue to get our Starbucks? When folks see someone on campus being harassed by cops, will we be unified enough in our politics to step in? I think it's time we stop asking these questions and start becoming the answer.
Yeah.
We want Howard to be a sanctuary campus. We want admin to respect our right to free speech. And we want Howard to at least put out a statement or something opposing the federal takeover. But we also know that Howard won't do that because admin suddenly had a change of heart. That's not how this works. They are cold, calculated, greedy, unempathetic, yada yada. So, instead of appealing to this non-existent humanity, let's appeal to something we know is of importance to them. Howard's image. If we can wrangle the culture back from its current state, get students to see Howard for what it truly is, get students to care more about the federal takeover than whoever's performing in that building over there this year, get social media flooded with Howard's failures, not just coming from revolutionaries, but the student body at large, who knows how much more bargaining power will hold. I know if I was a donator, I wouldn't give my money to an institution getting dragged 24/7. Yes, it is nowhere near that simple. Changing the culture isn't the solution. It won't get ICE off our campuses. It won't stop Howard from targeting whoever they want. It won't get the feds off the street of DC. But what it will do is give us the cover of truth. Because as long as they can keep us small, they can target us. As long as the majority of us are willing to go about our day-to-day lives, they can ignore us. And as long as students are willfully ignorant of the fact that these streets just got a lot more dangerous, Howard can continue to pretend that there is no problem. So, I'd like to give a little homework to anyone willing to participate. Make some art critiquing Howard's silence on the federalization of DC and pass it out on campus. Write a poem about how students expelled for speaking out could be any one of us here today and put it on lampposts everywhere. Write an essay about how Howard letting ICE set up a table in the School of Business last year was a betrayal of every single student who goes to this campus. Because for us to have any leverage against this institution, we need the masses to be tapped into truth and on board with the cause. To put it shortly, we need to take the culture back from Howard. Take it back from the hands of individualism and apathy and remind people that there are things worth fighting for. And I honestly believe a continued presence of dialogue about these issues are critical of the situation we're in, and any manner of keeping the problems in people's faces is better than what we're doing right now. So despite what not here, this is amazing, on the day-to-day on campus at all. So despite what I said earlier, I do, in a way, think that yelling, whining, and screaming all the time will eventually help us reach our goals of making Howard a sanctuary campus, of getting admin to refuse cooperation with the occupation of DC, and protecting free speech on campus. Because for the admin to care about any of those things, the pressure needs to be coming from everyone we can get on board on campus and off campus, not just those of us here today. And if any of y'all agree with that, I look forward to seeing how you will help us win back the culture here at Howard University.
Another round of applause for that speaker, everybody. I want to commemorate that speaker on how brave it is to come up here and speak about your interactions with the police. Speak about how you've been persecuted. It can be difficult to share those things together with us. Okay, hi helicopter. We all want safety on this campus. But we know that this neighborhood isn't safe for us. We know this campus can't be safe for us. But you know who does keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
And thank you all the Howard students here today for walking out of class. Class is important, it's why we're here, but sometimes we need to take a stand. Sometimes we need to come out here and listen to the truths of people who are experiencing the issues that we want to fight about. We're walking out of class into the yard. Walking out of class into the yard. Walking out of class
Into the yard.
walking out of class.
Into the yard.
We're walking out into freedom. Walking out.
Into freedom.
Walking out.
Into freedom.
Our next speaker is a freshman who wanted to speak as well. Wanted to speak about their experience, his experience here on campus. Just getting here, baby bison. So a round of applause for this speaker.
As our lovely organizer shared, I just got here. And I came to DC at a terrible time. But I wanted to say that the foundations of this being possible, the federalization of DC, and the targeting of students that look like me, that inhabit this campus, did not start and will not end with this president. We need to recognize the ways that our mindless support of the state, even when the Oval Office has a man that has our skin tone in it, how we are always capable of being marginalized in this way. I came to this school because I was told that I have the rest of my life to be a minority, and I can have these 4 years to be a part of the majority. When did being a part of the majority, when did community mean scapegoating people just like us, mean allowing our state to inhabit our school, meaning cooperating with militaristic efforts in the name of black equality? What happened to liberation? Howard is such a beautiful place because we have all of these beautiful black people that want to make a change and have all of these lovely resources. And then we have a Chick-fil-A. And then we have bison bucks at the Starbucks. And then we have all of these things undermining the things that we say all the time about black unity and liberation, about equality and people's voices being heard, while people are being killed, while people with dark skin are being killed by these corporations. For these next 4 years of my education, I'm going to have to be in DC. For class of 29, for all of these baby bison, we have to be in DC. We have to be here. But the thing is, when this president is gone, we are still in the US. When this president is gone, all of his lackeys, ICE, the police, they don't leave with him. It is up to us to ensure that this fight doesn't end when the face of this violence changes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Baby Bison, for speaking. He's really brave. Once again, just came up to me, asked to speak, asked to share his voice with y'all today. We're out of the classroom.
Into the yard!
Out of the classroom.
Into the yard!
And like you said, this is just the start. I want to remind everybody here today that even though these issues, over-policing, students being harassed, they didn't start here. But also, we're living in a completely different DC than any other student has ever lived in. When has any other student had to live in a DC that's been occupied by the federal government? What is our university doing to protect us from this new and unprecedented times? That is why we are here today. That is why y'all are here today. Because we know that we can't just go to class, go about our daily lives, knowing that at any time we might have to face the National Guard, face ICE, face our fellow peers being persecuted by these institutions. It has been happening. It will continue to happen. And that is why our next speaker is going to be a professor who wants to talk to you all about this issue as well in the English department. We want to show solidarity between us and our professors. Our professors are also here to protect us.
Yep.
Us students, of course, are the center of student activism, but a lot of what we do couldn't be done without our mentors, without the professors who are here to support us. So I would like to give a round of applause for Professor Hampton. And have him come up and speak to you all.
I'm about to see if I can get this. All right, can y'all hear me? Louder. All right. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Thank you all for coming out. My name is Professor Cyrus Hampton of the Department of Literature and Writing, formerly the Department of English. I'm a senior lecturer. I'm also a longtime volunteer with the non-tenure track faculty union. I'm a graduate of Howard University, class of 06, and I am very proud to be back here, even when we are faced with these disappointing and hurtful times. I prepared a couple words. Let's see if I can get enough hands to hold everything. There's a lot to be said about the world we live in now. The world is always a hard place to live, but this is not a comforting time for y'all to become adults in. Globally, our environment continues to be imperiled by corporate greed, despite all of us having known about the growing danger for years. We are witnessing multiple genocides. In Palestine, U.S. money goes towards funding the use of U.S. weapons against Palestinian civilians. We see live video daily, but our leaders refuse to acknowledge the genocide of the Palestinian people or our nation's complicity in it. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, millions of lives have been lost, all in the name of cheap access to minerals for the benefit of Western technology companies. To learn about the devastation in the DRC or in multiple other countries, you have to go searching. The U.S. media isn't interested in going into detail about these events, about this death, about this suffering. Globally, fascism is on the rise. The hyper-wealthy use division to turn working people against one another. Corporatist capitalism is giving way to neo-feudalism and neo-monarchist billionaire classes. In the U.S., we have an authoritarian, neo-monarchist, billionaire president who has surrounded himself with his fellow billionaires, monarchists, and fascist lackeys. We are witnessing the dismantling of even the trappings of democracy, while our news media focuses on Gavin Newsom's latest singers, Taylor Swift's engagement, and the latest Love Island drama. It's hard to know what to do when ICE is kidnapping people with impunity. The president is talking about leasing abductees from concentration camps back to their employers, and soldiers and federal agents are stalking the streets of our capital. All of that brings us back here to our little campus. There is no doubt that the people with power over this campus find themselves between a rock and a hard place. Howard University is heavily reliant on public funding, which has always made it an easy target for racist politicians. With the university exposed in the way it is, with our campus, our funding, and our future under the burning eye of an authoritarian president, I could almost forgive the folks over in the A building for bowing down ahead of time. Almost. Historians tell us you cannot give in to the authoritarian preemptively. You can't give in before they force you to give in. They will always want more than you can give. But again, the folks in the A building, are tasked with protecting the legacy of this university. If they don't already have the power to fight back, how do they not give in? I wish I had an answer for them and for us right now. I don't. I don't know exactly what we should do next. I have questions, I have thoughts, I have ideas, but I don't know exactly what we need, what the university needs, what the country needs, what the world needs. Something I do know, though, is about our legacy. We are on a storied campus. We have inherited so much history from those thinkers and activists who paved the way ahead of us. But this feeling of being trapped, this situation where it looks like our only choice is to bow down, that is also a part of our legacy. It is the legacy handed to us by our so-called leaders, by generations of Howard University presidents and Howard University trustee boards. This university has some beautiful things in its history, but everything of value that has been achieved on this campus was done by students, faculty, and staff. And it was often done in spite of the supposed leadership of this campus. I get angry with the folks in the A building. I've had a long relationship with Howard, and I've seen a lot of nasty things come out of that A building. Sealed off safely in their offices with their big salaries and their big titles, I've seen deans, provosts, and presidents ignore students' well-being or even be spiteful and cruel towards students. Truth and service. That's what we're supposed to give y'all. I cannot honestly say that we reliably do. We are here right now, trapped and without options because of the legacy of our leaders. Our leaders are what they are. I have sympathies and I have my criticisms. They are trapped in the things they have built. So because they are trapped, I am much more interested in y'all and what legacy you might leave. Y'all are insightful, revolutionary, passionate, kind, and loving. Despite that, you and I are not safe from becoming what they are. But how could this group we have here now, this group of insightful, revolutionary, passionate, kind, and loving young people, how could y'all become like the people in those offices in the A building? Overconfident, lost, spiteful, uncaring. It seems like an unbridgeable gap. It's hard to imagine y'all becoming like them. Selfishly, I don't want to imagine y'all becoming like them. But if we want to avoid following their path, we have to accept that it's possible. It's possible because they too were once young. They too were probably passionate, insightful, maybe even revolutionary. Some of them were all of those things on this campus. If we are going to do something different, it starts with imagining them in their day, out on the yard, just like we are now. I just talked about this with my students last week, so if any of y'all are out here, my apologies for being a little bit of a broken record. But if we're going to find a way forward, I think we have to recognize the errors of the past and recognize how easily we could make those same mistakes. I want to believe that I couldn't be like the people with the power right now, but I could be, and I am, every time I take the easy path, every time I convince myself that the only choice is the one that is cruel but familiar. The frightening truth is that our actions today define who we are and who we can be. It's not what's in your heart, it's not how smart you are or how much you care, it's what you do with your mind and your body right now. For revolution to exist, revolution has to exist in the way we work, fight, and love right now. That's because what we do today teaches us and trains us for who we will be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It's a terrible lie that many good people have told themselves, that if I just get over this hill, if I just get through this door, I will finally be free to do good for people. So I'll do whatever it takes to get myself through that door. I will take the easy path, and I will allow myself to be unkind, to avert my eyes, to be vicious. And then, once I'm through that door, I'll change. But even on the easy path, getting through the door takes hard work, and it takes time. And having poured yourself into doing whatever you had to do, allowing yourself to be unkind, averting your eyes, being vicious, the person who makes it through that door will not be who you are today. Maybe it won't totally change you. Maybe you will still hold on to your dream. But everything you will have built will serve those forces that demanded you be unkind, selfish, and short-sighted. Your skills, your tools, your community you have built around yourself, and even what you see as possible or impossible will serve the door that kept you out, the wall that held it in place, and the master's house that it was built into. So, if striving for power and taking the path that power demands will poison us, what do we do? Last week at a teach-in that your fellow students put together, just like they put together this, Dr. Marcus Ford said something really valuable to our efforts that I don't think is discussed enough. And if Dr. Ford is here, I apologize if my paraphrasing is ham-fisted. When we are constrained in the way that we are now, when we are facing power and violence like we are now, We have to enact revolution in the little things. I think that we seldom hear people talk about revolution living in little things because, frankly, it doesn't sound like enough, especially now. Especially when we see gangs of cops marching up and down Georgia Avenue, when our neighbors' loved ones are being snatched off the streets, when we see genocide beamed into our phones with up-to-the-minute updates. What does it matter what we do in little spaces when we're faced with that? Well, in front of me right now, I see present and future artists, engineers, lawyers, lawmakers, architects, actors, doctors, scientists, philosophers, business people. Business folks, y'all aren't off the hook either. In the work that you will do and in the work that you already do, you take little steps, little ideas, and little discoveries. You make them a part of something larger, and in doing so, you change the course of knowledge and thought and culture and the world. To take those little steps and make something new, however small it may seem, it takes a lot of hard work. You have to practice and hone your own skills. You have to build new ways of exploring and working. You have to build entire communities of colleagues, comrades, loved ones, and family members to support your work. If you take those little steps using the master's tools, you will rebuild the master's house. If you have spent your life appeasing power to the detriment of the many, even if the opportunity to help the many, help people, and help the world presents itself, you may not have the skills, the tools, the community, or the ability to take that opportunity. Our choices now make us who we are and who we can be. If we want to live in a different world, a better world, we better start practicing right now. I don't have a perfect answer for what we should do next. I have questions, I have thoughts, I have ideas. If any of you all have a perfect answer, we should get up here right away, please, please. But if you don't, I'm certain that you have questions, thoughts, and ideas. I'm almost done. With what we are up against, to have mostly just questions, thoughts, and ideas is scary. It doesn't feel fair. We aren't alone. We have decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years of knowledge passed to us to use, and we need to use that. That's why you're here right now. But even with that, it doesn't feel fair. It's terrifying to say no when forces so powerful demand something. But we aren't yet trapped into the legacy of the master's house. And I hope and believe that even those who are in the master's house right now can choose to walk out and join us. Together, if we are honest, passionate, skeptical, careful, and radical, we can start a little conversation that leads to a larger conversation. We can create little ideas that lead to larger ideas. We can perform little actions that lead to larger actions. And when the opportunity presents itself, tomorrow, next week, next year, or during the lives of your grandchildren, we can grab the opportunity and we can cause transformative change. It is terribly frightening, but the time to start is right now. Y'all have probably heard, some of y'all have probably heard these words before, but I want y'all to repeat after me these words from Assata Shakur. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Thank you all very much.